Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Young and the Restless spoilers, Connor's nightmare facility, unorthodox treatments stirs even more guilt for Chadam. Young and the Restless, IR spoilers note that Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, and Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, continue to reel over their son Connor Newman's Judah Mackey obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. More concerning than the condition itself is the facility's need to isolate the young boy from his parents and continued and questionable treatments. Is the Y&R just offering a raw account of what children and parents go through when it comes to OCD, or is there a bigger storyline here? The Young and the Restless spoilers, Connor Newman's self-harm. I&R spoilers note during a recent episode that Chadam were devastated, once again, upon their return from Connor's facility. They didn't get to see their son and learned he had begun self-harming himself, punching his inner thighs so hard he left bruises. His self-worth is also spiraling. It's hard not to question the facility's tactics. Sure, one often has to trust the process, and in some cases with therapy and counseling, things can get worse before they get better. However, Chadam has gone weeks upon weeks with zero contact from Connor, doing their best to trust the experts. Could these experts be dabbling in unorthodox treatments that are only worsening, rather than bettering, the young boy's situation? I&R spoilers. This storyline could take a major turn. Soap operas are notorious for presenting mental health issues in an outlandish way. While some storylines truly raise awareness, others can often mock and misrepresent conditions. Still, at the end of the day, daytime dramas aim to entertain. Raising awareness is often a secondary goal. I&R has done an incredible job as of late, showcasing Ashley Abbott's Eileen Davidson, dissociative identity disorder (DID), and the actress herself has been phenomenal. Meanwhile, Claire Grace's Haley Aaron stint in a facility showed a woman struggling with childhood trauma and moving forward in a positive way. At first, Connor's storyline seemed to be both educational and entertaining. Childhood mental health is a growing concern for many, and it provided a spotlight on the fact that kids, much like adults, can develop OCD. Self-harm is also not uncommon among children, and as disturbing as it is to hear about, it is a reality. Still, as Chadam is completely isolated from their young son, it's not hard to imagine that something terrible could be happening to the boy. Cutting off all communication from his parents seems very unorthodox, even if they trigger some of his symptoms. Connor was neither physically, mentally, or sexually abused by Chelsea or Adam, as per past storylines, so why can't they simply FaceTime the boy? Why all the secrecy? Couldn't the facility allow for Chadam to view Connor from afar or behind a glass mirror, so they could at least see their son and how he's doing? There must be viewing stations for parents in these types of facilities, even viewing stations for doctors to observe patients. Something does not add up, so could Connor be getting abused and brainwashed at this hospital? When the truth comes out, how much will Chadam spiral over yet another missed opportunity for them to protect their child? What do you think about Connor's facility? Comment below. Catch your favorite soap on CBS each day and visit this site often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers and news. Connor Newman's life had never been ordinary. Born into the affluent Newman family, he was surrounded by luxury and privilege. But those who knew the Newmans understood that money could not shield them from emotional turmoil. At just 12 years old, Connor had already faced more upheaval than most adults. Recently, Connor's behavior had become increasingly erratic, a clear cry for help that his parents, Chelsea and Adam, collectively known as Chadam, could no longer ignore. After extensive consultations and agonizing deliberation, they made the heart-wrenching decision to admit him to a facility specializing in childhood behavioral disorders. Little did they know that this would plunge them into a nightmare far worse than they had imagined. The Willowbrook Institute, with its immaculate gardens and modern architecture, appeared idyllic on the surface. It promised cutting-edge treatments and individualized care plans, tailored to each child's unique needs. The glossy brochures boasted success stories, and the facility's director, Dr. Elise Chambers, exuded confidence and warmth during the initial meetings. Yet an unsettling feeling gnawed at Chelsea and Adam as they toured the premises, their instincts warning them of a lurking darkness beneath the polished exterior. Connor's first weeks at Willowbrook were rough. He missed his family desperately and struggled to adjust to the regimented schedule. He was subjected to a series of unorthodox treatments that left him feeling more isolated and confused. The staff's methods, cloaked in scientific jargon, involved sensory deprivation, prolonged isolation, and controversial therapies that bordered on experimental. Chelsea, constantly tormented by guilt, spent sleepless nights poring over medical journals and obscure websites, seeking reassurance that they had made the right decision. Adam, typically stoic and decisive, was racked with self-doubt. Their once solid relationship began to strain under the weight of their shared anxiety and sorrow. The loving, adventurous spirit that had characterized Chadam was eroding, replaced by a perpetual cloud of dread and remorse. Connor's letters home, once filled with childlike whimsy and affection, became disjointed and mechanical. The spark in his eyes, so vivid in family photographs, seemed to dim with each passing day. Chelsea clung to these letters, trying to decipher hidden meanings and cries for help within the terse sentences. One particularly bleak morning, Chelsea received a phone call from another parent whose child was also at Willowbrook. The voice on the other end trembled with fear as they recounted their own horrific experiences. Whispers of abuse and mistreatment painted a gruesome picture of what might be happening behind closed doors. The mother's haunting words echoed in Chelsea's mind long after the call ended. "You need to get Connor out of there, before it's too late." Desperation fueled Chelsea and Adam's decision to visit Willowbrook unannounced. They arrived under the guise of a regular check-in, but were determined to dig deeper this time. As they walked through the sterile hallways, Chelsea's eyes darted around, searching for any sign of her son. They found him in a common area, sitting alone and staring blankly at a wall. The sight broke Chelsea's heart into a million pieces. They demanded a private meeting with Dr. Chambers, who seemed unruffled by their accusations. Her practiced calm and evasive answers only fueled their suspicions. Frustrated and helpless, they decided to take matters into their own hands. They covertly spoke with other parents and even bribed a staff member to get more information. What they uncovered was a systematic pattern of abuse and negligence. Children were subjected to nightmarish conditions, all in the name of treatment and discipline. Armed with this damning evidence, Chelsea and Adam confronted Dr. Chambers in a dramatic showdown. Threats of legal action and media exposure forced her to back down, but the damage was already done. Connor had been traumatized, and the repercussions of his time at Willowbrook would ripple through their lives for years to come.